It's another milestone for What's the Buttons. It's episode 30.
Woo!
And with me I have Steph.
Hello.
Not Ash.
No.
It's on nights again. So that's upsetting that he couldn't be here for another. I think he missed the last milestone. I think he missed 20, or did he not?
No, I don't think so, no.
He missed the first exclusive episode on Patreon.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you can subscribe to. Patreon.com/What's the Buttons. Yeah. How are you? You alright?
Okay, yeah. Recovering from COVID.
Yeah, Steph had COVID. Everyone in the house got COVID, and me and your mum managed to avoid it.
Yeah. Well, that literally was half, I suppose.
Fuck knows how. I have no idea how that happened.
It was rough.
But yeah, so we're quite tired, to be fair, aren't we? I must admit the energy levels are quite low. I've been busy at work for once, doing a lot of chainsaw related stuff, so I'm a bit tired. But as ever, we're going to provide you, bless your ear holes, with
the good stuff,
with some good shit. Is that the cat? There's a cat purring for you. Want some ASMR?
Izzy, this is actually we've got our first guest on What's the Buttons. Izzy, what have you to say?
They won't hear. I guarantee they won't hear that.
Oh no, really?
They might do. I don't know. It depends how loud people listen to it. Maybe I'll heighten that audio.
Hello.
We haven't done a list.
We
haven't
never
really
do
bothered.
a list. We haven't done a list.
No. I suppose we haven't bothered.
Engage on the pure waffle.
Yeah, we sort of. Well, the Quarry would be a good one.
Oh, we're going straight in.
Yeah. Fuck all the messing around. It'll be the Quarry. Mm-hmm. Me and Steph both played it together. If you listened to the last podcast episode, you would have heard me complaining about the Quarry and how me and Mark both purchased it hoping to play it together, and in actual fact, because we're lonely and it's just the two of us, you can't play it multiplayer.
Well, no, I think it's just a bit of a wanky setup in the sense that you can see why they thought it was a good idea.
It's fucking stupid.
What I don't understand, how hard is it to make a online play exactly like the couch co-op without passing the controller? That's all they had to do. If you think about it.
Yeah.
So the setup of it
is
and it's called like Wolfpack or something like that. And essentially what happened, I don't know, did you explain?
Well, let's roll it back real quick. So you got single player for the Quarry. So the Quarry, for the people that may not have listened to the last episode, is a horror telltale type game. That
yeah, fair enough.
Sort of like that. And it's made by the same people that made the Dark Anthology picture series, which me and Mark have played every single one in that series. And yeah, they made the Quarry, and it originally came out as single player, and then multiplayer was added in at a later date, and it has online multiplayer, and then, like Steph said, couch co-op, which is a LAN party essentially.
Yeah.
Go on.
Because I was in bed because I wasn't well, but I was watching Reese and Mark have a go, and essentially what was happening was I discovered, you were seething when I interrupted you, but yeah. I'm sure now that you're glad I did. I
am very glad that you did.
Thank you. And,
that's only because you have a habit of talking to me when I put
but was I
noise
right?
cancelling
was
headphones
I right?
on.
Was it a worthy interruption?
You know how mothers, their hearing is adapted to being alerted by high pitched noises, in a sense that if their baby's crying, that's a high pitched noise and they wake up. I'm almost certain that my ears have adapted to your voice. Because when I got them headphones on, you can't fucking hear anything around you, anything at all. That's what they're designed for. That's why I paid the big bucks for them. Yeah. But you, I can hear you clear as day. Clear as day. I'll be sitting there, the game will be loud as fuck, and I will hear you mumble something behind me. Yeah. And I just know to turn around, and you do it every time.
I mean,
and
the
it's
air
both
in the room
sweet.
Went cold.
It's sweet and annoying at the same time.
Yeah. But basically, what I found out was essentially whoever started the party is the only one who makes the decisions.
Fucking
and
stupid.
you can have up to 7 friends,
Mm.
but all those people do is vote on the decisions, which makes it essentially unplayable if it's 2 of you, because whoever votes it's either 50-50 or 100%.
If you've got 7 people, that would be incredible, because the arguments you would be having, because obviously a lot of the decisions you have to make, so probably like 70% of the decisions you have to make in the game, there's no time limit to make them.
Yeah.
You just sit there in the cut script. Fucking, can I speak? I can't speak properly in the cutscene.
Yeah.
And then nothing happens, and then the other 30% is all timed, and some of them are really quick. So it sounds like it would be absolute chaos if you had 7 people having to make a quick decision in 5 seconds, and you've got no time to talk to anyone. You just got to make your decision.
Did you get to one of those where it needed to happen? Like, because can you imagine? And I bet it just doesn't ask.
Yeah, we at the beginning, when you get knocked off the road and you have to decide whether to hit the log or steer away from it. That was a timed one.
Yeah, and you had a choice.
I had a choice. This was where it caught us off guard, because what me and Mark did for the first couple ones, because we did quite a few of them. I'd go choose the option on the left, and he'd choose the option on the right, and it would follow him.
Yeah.
And then there were some options where we would both pick the same, and then it was only for, like, when you said, is when we did a quick experiment with it, and for the next, like, 5 things that come up, we went completely opposite answers, and it always went with Mark's.
Yeah, because he was the
host. But I'd imagine if there was one more person, if it was me and another person that were picking the option on the left and he was picking the one on the right, well, we'd go for the one on the left, because it was giving us a percentage every time we was answering, so 50-50. And I just found that so annoying, because there was nowhere that it told you that's how it played out in the game. Even before you set up the party, it didn't say that's how it did things.
No, and I mean, I don't know how hard could it have been if you want that mode cracking, but being that how the couch co-op worked was essentially you could have, again, up to 8 players.
Yep.
And essentially how you do it is you've got your 8 characters and you assigned them to be player 1, player 2. So we to make it easy, because I wasn't sure how easy we'd remember who was who. I did all the girls, Reese did all the boys. Yep. So, pretty straightforward. And that was how we remembered. But it did actually come up and say, like, player 1, player 2.
Yeah,
and
but there was also an option to just completely randomise it.
Well, yeah, and why you wouldn't offer that online? I don't understand how hard it is to just... Is it something about diverting the play between consoles?
Well, but
why?
This is the difficult thing to understand is exactly that, and the fact that so Supermassive Games made it, and like I say, the Dark Anthology picture series is what they do. That's what they do, and of course, and they're
no, but you're playing it. You're playing it at the same time.
Yes.
And that's not what this was.
No, but I'm saying that
we weren't playing at the same time.
Yes, but they know how to create a game where it's available, where you can do it like that. So I really struggled to work out how they couldn't just do not the same thing, but exactly what you're saying, have the couch co-op, but online.
But then is it because...
We haven't got friends. I haven't got 7 friends.
No, hang on. Think about it. Maybe this is why. So how we played it, okay, as far as our PS5 was concerned, it was playing a game the whole time. When I'm sat there watching you, the console is playing. It doesn't care who's it's got in its hands. So if you're now playing that online, you're going to have to switch between states of that console is now watching the game being played on another console and with no input. Maybe that's more difficult than we're giving them credit. Can you see what I mean? Like when you say when you play the other ones, you're both playing at the same time. Your console is playing the whole time. Yeah. Mark's console is playing the whole time. How difficult is it to constantly switch?
It would be constantly swapping and changing.
Essentially, a cutscene that is live because it's happening as Mark is choosing to display that on your PlayStation with you having no input. And if you think maybe they just thought that it would be a bit boring, because sometimes one of us would play for 15 minutes.
Yeah,
so
but
you'd just be sat.
Yeah, but they are able to, because with any of the dark stuff, even though you're playing the same game but playing different characters, because when you play, say, the latest one, The Devil in Me, I can't see what the other player's doing.
Yeah.
You cannot see them. It's just your screen and what you are doing.
Yep.
But obviously you can talk to the other person or whoever you're playing with.
Yep.
But in order to progress, that person would have to...
Is affecting you.
Yeah. So my PlayStation knew what was going on with Mark's PlayStation because he could progress the story without my say-so, and it would fucking skip out half his shit.
Yeah, of course. No, that's not what I'm saying, because obviously it's the same in online, you know, Apex,
Everything.
whatever. What I mean is, it's about you not playing.
Yeah.
If you think about it, what can you think of where you're interacting with somebody else but you're not doing anything? I can't think of one. In every game like that, you're doing something too.
Yeah, true.
You know? I don't know. I'm just
maybe
it
was just too much of a ball ache, but it wasn't.
But
it wasn't bad at all.
Say that.
Yeah. Don't. I find it difficult.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm having a refreshment.
You got ice in that? They're not too cold.
No.
Was that
no,
lemon?
It's not too cold. It is lemon. It's really nice.
I opened that this morning.
That'll go dusty by the end of the bottle, though.
Yeah, can't wait.
Coat your teeth. Anyway, carry on.
What was I fucking saying?
Sorry. I said. You said maybe that is the case.
It was fun.
Oh yes.
Because it gave us the opportunity to play it together, which was good. One of the features that I really, really like about it, and isn't in any of the other Supermassive games, is the ability. So there's always different paths. There's fucking loads. In this one, there was 186 different ways you could affect the story. Fucking loads. And on The Devil in Me, Little Hope, fucking all the other ones that I can't remember at the moment. It's the same case. However, if you finish the game and everyone survived, is that me?
Mm-hmm.
That is me. And everyone survived, you could go back and do another playthrough and then try and kill everyone. Fucking, who is that? Fucking TikTok. Go away. You can go back. You'd have to go back and do another playthrough and try and kill everyone again. What the Quarry did, which was very cool and a lot less time consuming, is it gave you the option to watch that in the movie mode. So movie mode, it had everyone survives, everyone dies, and then custom. And custom allowed you to go into each individual character and set preferences onto how they behave and what they do. So it meant that if you wanted to see different outcomes of how the game played out, rather than having to play through it all again and do all the running around and stuff in between cutscenes, you could just watch a movie version of it, which was just all the cutscenes and all the stuff in between cut out, which made it a lot more entertaining to do that, and it gave us more need to go back and watch it, because that's what we did. We watched the everyone dies bit, and that was like 2 and a bit, 3 hours worth of cutscenes.
It was hella long.
Was it more?
My one gripe was that you couldn't like fast forward and skip
you couldn't
and
skip
pause.
it at all.
Right, well you could pause.
You could pause it, but yeah, you couldn't select chapters in it. You couldn't just cut to such and such, which I find that quite annoying as well.
Yeah. And I think you can't. It was weird. There was things that they did differently. Excuse me, I'm coughing. That put them on like a better path, if you will. And then it was a little bit annoying because I almost wanted to. There was points in watching the movie mode where I wanted to go, right, let me play it from here then. You know, because there's a particular character where. Well, it's which one are you thinking?
I thought it was about Caitlin.
Oh no, we'll get there. We'll get there. But no, essentially, much like, I mean, it's similar to. I'm sure. I don't know if you agree. A lot of games like this, there is a moral, an expected moral compass, that you're to have.
Yeah. They push heavily towards
doing the right thing, and then and it will say this will have consequences. Those kind of things.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because the way we had done it was there's this point where your stuff's locked in a cabin and you can either break in or not. I need to cough one moment. I could hear that horrible pre-cough thing in my voice. Excuse me.
Yeah, pre-cough.
Oh, that's so fucking grim. Ew. Anyway, now that I've done my pre-cough,
it's grim, isn't it?
it's gross. And we'd chosen to break in to get our stuff, and it wasn't until ages later that a separate character, it meant that they could get to safety quietly.
It had a very big
because
effect.
we'd opened that cupboard. That cabin, and then we carry on, and that everything happened as it happened. But anyway, when we were watching the movie mode, and this is on everyone dies mode, and she said, "No, I'm not breaking into that cabin," and didn't do it. And then fast forward to the part where these characters need to hide, and they're now having to bash the door in because she never did it. And it was like, oh, this is juicy. But what it actually did was we didn't think it was related, did we, at the time when we played through? But basically, because they bashed and made the noise, they still got in safe. Spoiler alert, they still got in safely. But actually, when we played, someone else got hurt because the thing that attacked him... The wire
fell down, wasn't it?
Yeah, the thing that attacked him didn't attack him in this one because it had gone to the noise of the breaking the door down. It was blew my mind. Blew my mind. Because we couldn't for the life of us figure out, because essentially there's an infection and you have to try and the characters are trying to fight it off, and
werewolves is everyone
basically
it was. Everyone was being turned into werewolves.
But and we didn't, it was only at the end when it came up that essentially this person had been able to help at the end, and we didn't have him because he'd become a werewolf. But we were like, how could we not have? We could not see how it was possible that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And it was as far back and as covered up as that. How many different things was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yeah. But...
It's like Mark killed all of the Hacketts.
Who did we leave? We only left Travis. No. Travis and Bobby, that was it.
Travis and Bobby.
And that's only because you didn't stab... If you'd have stabbed Bobby, Chris would have killed him.
Yeah, Mark killed Bobby by stabbing him.
Yeah.
And then Mark killed Travis by not shooting Silas first and refusing to shoot. And basically you have a squabble with Travis, and then he's trying to pull the gun away from you to kill Silas, and you end up blowing his head off. And then I said, well, did you have to fight Silas after? And he was like, no, you just get given the option to shoot Silas. So he shot Silas as well. So you can...
so he must have been friendly enough with Travis that Travis didn't kill Laura when she turned back.
Yeah, that was another thing, Manister, that you won't have seen. Yeah, Travis killing Laura.
Oh, it was awful.
Stabs her in the face, didn't he?
But it's the way...
No, the
chest. So she turns back into a person, and they're kind of looking at each other. But it's the way that he kind of looks at her,
smiles,
nods, and then he has this silver mirror in his hand, and just stabs the fuck out of her. It's horrendous. Yeah. Blows Ryan's head off. Doesn't he?
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
Jesus
he takes Ryan's takes his skull off.
Oh, it was unreal.
Or even the Mama Hackett,
What's
sorry.
her name?
Whatever her name was.
Constance,
when she got her face blown off, but it's not her whole face, just the front of her face, see her eyes and shit. Fucking hell, it was a gory game, man. Yeah. Everyone got their heads cut off. Yeah. Abby getting her head ripped off. Jesus Christ, it's fucking. But the werewolves in the game aren't your typical werewolves that you would think of. No. Especially the way they transform.
They shed all their skin and grow.
Well, where you'd expect someone who turns into a werewolf through movies and books and stuff like that, they sort of hair starts to sprout out of them, and they slowly start to turn and form into a werewolf. Whereas no, in the Quarry, it's literally people start screaming visibly in excruciating pain, and then they just explode. All their skin comes exploding off, blood goes everywhere, and then they're this 10-foot fucking werewolf.
Yeah.
And then when they transform back, they're all just covered in their own guts. Oh, grim.
Yeah.
But a really cool way to put a unique spin on how someone transforms into a werewolf. The fact that they just blow up where they are.
And what I will say for the actual graphics of the whole thing,
good, yeah.
I immediately recognised the actor.
Yeah.
I knew it was him straight away, and then there was 2 other actors that I knew, and it was incredible. Like, I went on, what's his name? Miles Robbins played Dylan, and on the pause screen, whoever you're playing currently in control of, like their face is huge on the screen, and they're sort of like looking around. It's quite a cool pause menu actually.
Yeah.
Quite dynamic, and anyway, I was looking at him. And it's not perfect, like their eyelashes are odd, and sometimes, I mean, Emma's mouth, say less.
Hell, yeah.
Her mouth was huge. Anyway, but I'm looking at him, and I called up a picture of him on Instagram, and they had every single freckle.
The veins in his eyes, the wrinkles, because it's all
incredible.
It's all motion captured.
Yeah.
And
very like Detroit with the guy from Grey's Anatomy, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the faces, they just can't, they cannot get them fucking faces correct. And I don't know how they can't do it when it's motion capture, because I thought that would have made it a bit easier to actually capture the faces.
Don't know.
But Emma's mouth
was
just fucking huge. It took up like half her face.
When she'd speak, it
was so fucking shit, so stupid. And there was like Travis's eye when we first see him. I thought he was having a stroke. I was like, what the fuck is this? I genuinely couldn't work out if it was part of his
supposed
character.
To be,
that he's got something wrong with his face, because it was just the right side of his face was just like melted ice cream. It was fucked. It just makes it a bit more funny, to be fair.
But I mean, I could sit and replay it now. Honestly, I could.
I think Mark said he was going to replay it, because there's a couple of bits because he pointed out the fact that it gives you the option to go back to various chapters and change your actions.
Yes.
But it affects your save game.
Yes. Well, that's exactly what we did. We went back. You can
only do that 3 times, by the way. He said you can only do it 3 times.
Oh, that's annoying.
I think he said that this morning.
So how we played it, when we played it genuinely, I killed Emma, but she was getting on my tits. So we were going along, and then she's doing like a vlog, and anyway she goes.
Oh, it was incredible, wasn't it? Really, really fucking good.
She's like, what was it? She was like, I could look in these bags, or I could open the hatch and meet my grisly death.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, go on then, open the hatch then. And I was not expecting. I kind of knew, but I was not expecting. She's like, she barely even screams because he's like slicing her apart.
Yeah, he literally just grabs hold of her, rips her throat apart.
Yeah, and so that was death 1, and Rita's really like mad. You weren't pleased.
It's
because
we was keeping everyone alive.
But we were just playing.
And then
and then
but then you was like, oh, we'll go back. No, that's not how we play this. We deal with the actions, the consequences of what we do.
Yeah. And then what happened was so I hadn't shot. It started off, it was very, very focused on all the male characters, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they seemed to be doing a lot of the, it was like a girl picked up a stick, and then the boys were playing firing guns, and you're like, oh, okay. I'm not saying a gender thing at all. I'm just saying that's factually what happened.
Was with the guns.
Yeah, but she didn't fire. No, she was a cutscene though.
Oh, yeah,
she wasn't a playable character. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. The boys were doing the main stuff.
Well, for good reason with what happened fucking later on.
Oh no, but if I had practice on a fucking watermelon, maybe I could have saved my own bacon, couldn't I?
I told Mark about it, and he was like, "How did she fuck it up?"
No, because I hadn't. I overcorrected, but you had
massively. You went from left all the way to right.
No, you had.
I've got
seconds.
it saved.
It was like 2 seconds.
Yeah, about 2 or 3 seconds to make a split to shoot a fucking massive
and
werewolf with a shotgun.
I wasn't well. I'll give you that.
What?
Anyway, yeah, and then you just ripped apart. So she died as well. Why was I saying this? Oh, anyway, yeah, and then we went back. The only thing we've so far replayed, other than the movie mode, is went back and I wanted Reese to do it, And he did, and you did admit it was very difficult. You said to me, you went, no, that was hard.
It was difficult, but I still did it.
Barely.
I did it though.
Barely.
But it doesn't matter.
Anyway, but then what we did then was play on till the end, but didn't shoot Silas.
Silas.
And my boy. And so yeah, we didn't shoot him, and he just rips everyone's heads off in seconds.
Yeah, I weren't expecting this. So there's
seconds.
Travis, Ryan,
and
Laura. With Silas. I know that a lot of people listening to this won't have a fucking clue who.
A lot of people have already turned off, I imagine.
Yeah, but Silas, if you're still listening, Silas is the reason why everyone's turned into a werewolf. He's like OG werewolf number 1.
Yeah.
Which is why it's why we're trying to kill him, to rid us of this curse. And I was not expecting him to be that brutal with everyone that was standing around him, because you had the option to shoot him, and I took the shots but purposely missed, and that still backfired because our mum still give us the
really
fucking
angry.
cold shoulder after. And yeah, he just springs up in his werewolf form, and straight away, bang, there goes Laura's head straight off, and then there goes, and then Travis as well, just gone.
What I don't know.
Straight for the heads. It was Laura and Travis's head, and then
Ryan was already down. That's what I want to look at, because it happened so quick. But yeah, half of Ryan's jaw was missing.
Yeah.
But I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he killed him.
I think he sliced it. I think he
hit
it with his hand.
Oh, yeah.
Ripped his jaw off, and then he was still alive, wasn't he? And then he jumped on him and fucking ripped him the shreds.
Special mention to the blood that spurts out of Laura's eyeball when Max smashes her. It's disgusting. That is disgusting. And it
as it should be. It weren't a scary game though. Normally with these types of games, there's more jump scares and stuff
thrilling.
like that. Yeah. I said this to Mark this morning, and he agreed. Wouldn't have paid 60 quid for it.
No.
Which is which it was the original price for it.
No.
35, it was Mark's limit, and I'd agree with him. 35 quid, I would have gone, yeah, fuck it, 35 quid.
Yeah.
Obviously, we got it for 21. But I don't know where they were getting that price tag from. 60 quid just seemed like too much for that type of game, because it was only.
I don't think it was long enough.
We did it in 8 hours.
Yeah.
It weren't a long game.
Yeah.
It was a good game, but not a long game.
I mean, unless they're saying accounting for, like, you know, you can replay it and it'd be a different game, but I don't know. No, I don't necessarily think that price point's correct.
So that was the Quarry.
That was the Quarry indeed.
That was very fun.
Did you brought up about Hogwarts Legacy last time, didn't you? With the absolute heathens and the late release on the Switch and stuff. I remember you guys talking about that last week.
Yeah, but obviously we haven't had a Nintendo Switch fanatics opinion on Hogwarts Legacy.
I'm raging.
Hogwarts Legacy, again, if you haven't heard, if you didn't listen, blah 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 blah. Hogwarts Legacy is massively delayed on the Nintendo Switch, the Xbox One, and the PS4, but the Nintendo Switch has got it real fucking rough. So I think for the Xbox One and the PS4, it doesn't release until April, and then for the Nintendo Switch, it's July. There's no point playing it on the Switch. Because it'll be done. It'll be done.
I have all 3.
Yep. And so Warner Brothers said that the reason behind these delays is because they are trying to figure out how they can get Hogwarts Legacy to play on all platforms. Yeah. Because obviously the hardware capabilities between the Xbox Series X and the PS5 compared to its predecessors and the Nintendo Switch is fucking leaps and bounds. So there's obviously a lot of work that has to go in for PS4 games to be on the PS5 and vice versa. And it's just the Nintendo Switch has really got the rough end of the stick here, because obviously that's a completely different beast. And like Ash pointed out, they have to figure out a way to be able to dock it and then take it off and make that a smooth transition from telly to Switch, which I never thought about before, because obviously that must take some fucking work.
Because it has to be instant.
Exactly, it has to be
Instant.
as smooth as possible. Otherwise, otherwise, I'd imagine you really fucking notice it.
It's a well-known fact that you know that you kind of accept a drop in performance, a drop in frame rate. That's always been there. They've never hidden that. They've never hidden that.
But not a massive delay like that. Fuck me.
It's a big ask for a game of what seems to be that size. You know, it's
And this is where me and Ash had the conversation about. Is this not a point where maybe Nintendo need to look at the Switch and go, maybe we do need a pro version, a more beefed up version, because you can't. This is the type of, so the what the requirements are for Hogwarts Legacy, what it demands, that is going to be the norm for a lot of new games, a hell of a lot of new games, especially games that are running on Unreal Engine 5. So either you deal with delays for Nintendo Switch, or Nintendo does something to beef up the Switch so that you don't have to delay it.
Sometimes it just can't happen yet. It just can't happen yet. If you think, like, there's computers that exist that are so incredibly fast, but they cannot exist yet because they are too hot to be, you know, they're sat, and it will be a computer that would fit on that desk, but it needs a room this size just to cool it down to stop the components exploding before they, you know, because they cannot process, so we don't have the physical materials to make something that can withstand that. So with the Switch, you have to think about, for that thing to be more powerful, but also be handheld, so it's light enough, it doesn't get hot. It needs ventilation. You know, you can't. If you think, how many times have you walked in and I'm sitting there and I'm resting it on my tummy and playing it like that? Well, if it's more beefy and it needs 3 more vents and they're on the bottom, well, okay, well, you can't be sitting and playing like that no more.
Yeah.
You know, and I think there's you got to think about how capable or how available. Well, shit, look at the PS5, and you know they made that thing where it basically they couldn't mine the component to do it, couldn't they? Whatever it was like they'd run out of the stuff and it's only available every however many years.
Yeah, because of fucking crypto.
Yeah, absolutely. Data mining and shit like that, isn't it? You know, and that's a big. I imagine that was a very, very steep learning curve for Sony. You know, so I don't know. I wonder, is it something like that where they just either they're not willing because at the end of the day they're selling well as they are,
but this is what,
or is it a material based thing, or you know, they've made a lot of improvement with OLED, but clearly not enough. They kind of obviously just focused on the screen.
But companies like this,
more so than performance.
Massive companies, Samsung, Apple, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, these aren't companies. They're fucking thinking 10, 15, 20 years into the future. They will have entire buildings of people who is their job is to make sure that this company survives far into the future for as long as possible. That is their job. So Nintendo, being as fucking huge as they are, arguably the biggest, must have an idea of what the future holds for them and for the Nintendo Switch. They have to. They can't. There's no way in hell that a company as incredible as Nintendo have something like the Nintendo Switch and are just going, oh, this is quite cool. This is good how it is now. They will definitely have plans in for the future.
Yeah, but you need to be careful because ultimately, not you personally.
I'll be careful.
You need to be careful, yeah? No. No, but you know, Mr. Nintendo or Mrs. You know, the Wii U, as I think I've said even before on here, never mind to you, the Wii U should have been, you know, it tanked. It nearly took them under.
Yeah.
But all the Wii U is,
I don't think I've even ever fucking seen what it looks like.
it looks like a Switch with Joy-Cons you can't detach and a smaller screen and a bit more clunky. And all you can, and the whole, like the advert for, I mean, I never had one, but the advert for it was a kid is playing on the telly, as we all used to, and then the dad comes in and wants to watch the telly, and it, rather than the kid being upset, he just takes up the pad and changes the thingy, and he's playing his game on the gamepad, and the dad's watching the telly. So he's playing the Wii, the dad is watching the telly, and it was essentially like a, you know, a baby version, a dumbed down, a more simple and clunky version of what became the Switch.
The Genesis.
But it almost took them under. You know, everyone.
Yeah.
No, if someone even remembers the Wii U, it was either it was shit or I never had one. You know, and that's something where I feel like their innovation and their willingness to just completely change it up and throw something crazy and new out, it almost took them out. You know, it could have done, because was it timing? Was it just the idea wasn't refined enough?
But there must be something in the works. How long's the Switch been out for? 2017. So
5 years.
So it's a long time, but it's not a long time at the same time. If that makes sense.
It'll be 6 years in March.
Yeah. So
God in heaven, that's long.
And the Nintendo Switch up until rather recently didn't have a competitor. Did it really?
And
in terms
also,
of
don't
handheld
forget,
console.
There have also been two, you know, they've not released nothing. You had the Switch, then you had an improved battery life Switch, then you had the Switch Lite, and then the Switch OLED. They've not done nothing.
No.
You know, they're pumping out new consoles. It's just not what you're necessarily after.
Yeah, that's the thing that I would want, because I think there's a stigma, and because Mark's is, but he obviously his missus has one in the market for a Switch, and he said so himself, and I had the exact same viewpoint until I met you, in that he thought that the Nintendo Switch, it didn't have the same type of games you could get on a PlayStation, which a lot of people I think fall in that pit, because when you think of Nintendo, you don't think of Red Dead or fucking Elden Ring. Elden Ring's not on the Switch, is it?
No.
Skyrim, shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't think of the Nintendo Switch as having those types of games. You think of, I don't know, fucking Kirby and Mario. You know, the typical.
I don't appreciate that, but yeah.
No, but you do. You think of
no,
the typical
I don't appreciate
Nintendo
your tone
stuff. They're not my cup of tea, so I apologise.
But then, have you ever played them? No.
No, but I'm not going to.
No, because you might enjoy them, and then that will destabilise your whole. It will destabilise your entire snobby.
So what I'm saying
snobby
is,
gaming beliefs.
If Nintendo want to try and make it so that people view the Switch as another console compared to all the other consoles out there, they have to be able to allow that console to not only have but be capable of running at a fairly decent rate a lot of games that are on the Xbox and the PlayStation.
Why are you trying to make it fit to be like the others?
I'm not. But
neither are they, it would seem.
Are they not?
At the end of the day, the fact that I can... So, you know, when we went away the other week, I took that with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I needn't have plugged it into the telly.
Mm-hmm.
I did, because I could.
Yep.
But I will take having a game be... They've not said they're not. At the end of the day, someone somewhere, well, a lot of someones and a lot of somewheres, thought and are still continuing to put a game like Hogwarts Legacy on that console. It's just a bit longer.
Yeah.
Might be more buggy. But I will take that over the innovation of the Switch, which you have admitted is incredible. Like, it doesn't need to keep up with them in the same way. It doesn't. Doesn't.
Your reaction to Hogwarts Legacy being delayed until July
Gutted.
for the Switch, fucking annoying. Like you say, gutted.
Yeah.
So how many games do you have to have that you're really interested in and looking forward to that have the exact same delays because they have to try and figure out how to put it on a Switch? Because you can sit here now and say that you would take the innovation of a Switch and deal with the delays, but you and I know very well that, and we'll be included in it too, the gamer player base, the people that we are, the nerds that we are, don't do well with delays. And you wouldn't, and I'm probably talking absolute bullshit. This is probably the only game on the Switch that will be delayed this heavily. So this might be an absolutely invalid point, but let's say hypothetically that it isn't, and every newer generation game that comes out that's also going to be ported onto the Switch has a fucking half, 2/3 of a year delay compared to everyone else, you'll only put up with that for so long because it isn't fair. It's not fair that you have to wait till July, because how are you going to avoid
Yeah, but I
spoilers
don't.
and any of that shit? You don't, because I've got a PS5.
Yeah, we have a PS5.
Well, it's mine.
What's mine is yours.
That'd be
Which
ridiculous.
yours is mine. Okay.
But
but
if I wasn't here, you wouldn't be able to play it till July.
no.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
If every game like that, you had to wait that long, eventually you're not going to be happy about doing that, are you?
Right, but
And then you'd move on to a
One-
Steam Deck.
on the one hand, yeah, but is Hogwarts Legacy on the Steam Deck?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't think it is.
Is it on? I'm gonna have to do a quick Google.
You
now.
will have to do a quick Google. But ultimately, I don't personally think it's that deep. Because you do, at the end of the day, Nintendo has a lot of exclusives. It is mostly catered to, it's. I just don't think that it's not. My brain has just completely floated away
It has
right
not
now.
been confirmed for the Steam Deck yet.
Oh, there you go.
Probably
do you know
because
what I
they
mean?
run into the same issues as
it's
what
not-
Switch does.
You cannot expect. It's like, fucking. It's like having Heelys and a bicycle, or a bike and a car. Yes, okay, I'm not going to be able to cycle to, Glasgow, but I can take that bike on a train. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't take my car on a train to Glasgow. If I want to go to Glasgow with my car, I've got to drive the whole way there. But if I
Yeah.
want to, you know what I mean? It's something like that. Like with the Switch, yes, it is nowhere near the hardware capabilities of the PlayStation 5, but I can't put my PlayStation 5 in my handbag.
No, I know, but where's the change?
What do you mean?
Well, where? So the innovation of it, the uniqueness of it, can surely only last for so long. You can't just, as a Nintendo Switch owner, Nintendo can't just rely on you being happy because this is the only console in the world that can do this forever.
No, but it's
They
also,
gotta
don't
do
forget, yeah,
something.
but you're actively ignoring all of the games that are built for the Switch.
No, I'm not
Aren't
ignoring
you?
the games
Yeah,
that are
but
built
what
for
I'm
the Switch.
saying is, they are always coming out with new titles.
Yeah.
You don't just have to wait for one or two. At the end of the day, Hogwarts Legacy, as to my knowledge, is one of the only ones
But wouldn't it be nice
that's been.
if every game for the Nintendo Switch could also run better?
But it's not noticeably bad.
Some of
Is
them
it?
are.
Like,
The latest Pokemon looks fucking awful. Dreamlight Valley, always crashing, always having frame issues.
No,
always, yes.
not always. No,
I fucking watched it.
not
it does.
always.
There are,
I've sunk like
of course,
50, 60 hours
of
into
course
that game, and it's not.
there's games on the Switch
Crashes
that
like-
run lower performance than
Yeah, but
you'd
you
like.
and I have had this conversation before.
But-
I'm pointing at you now. You
but
and I
I'm
have had this
saying-
conversation before where you admit that all the people that were like, oh God, I couldn't play it because the grass was jottery. You go,
Yeah.
no, that's bullshit. I don't notice shit like that.
Yeah, no,
You
no,
don't.
no, you don't, no, you don't.
No, you don't.
Most people don't.
So it's not that deep.
But you can't, in a world of electronics, gaming electronics, it's ever expanding and
But
upgrading.
what makes you think that they aren't doing something? At the end of the day,
Because there's nothing
right,
in the fucking
but do you-
pipeline. There's no leaks. There's no nothing.
is there a PS6 leak?
Everyone knows there's going to be a PS6 because
And
this
everyone
is what
knows.
PlayStation
What? So you
does.
think that Nintendo have gone? Never mind. That's done with now. We don't need to make anything else new. Of course they're working on
But
something. Maybe they're just.
After 5 years, coming up 6.
Oh
would
my
it
god,
not,
bruv! Oh my god! There's literally been 2 consoles since my son. There has been the Switch Lite. There has been the Switch OLED.
They got rid of the Joy-Cons. They changed the screen. They beefed up the battery.
Okay,
What else? What else?
the screen is now OLED.
Yeah, they changed the screen. They got rid of the Joy-Cons on one of them, made it more
does perform
handheld,
better. It is a more capable system.
and then they got a bigger battery for it.
What do you want from them? What do you want from them? You've made the cat jump down off my lap now.
Better hardware in it. I
Yeah,
want
it does
better
have
hardware in it
hardware in
after
it.
5 years.
Oh, sweet niblets. Oh, wow.
And everyone thought it was just me and Ash that argued.
Well, yeah, because when you're just being insufferable,
It's not
You
insufferable.
are
It's a
out.
debate. It's a conversation.
yeah, an insufferable one. Because it doesn't matter what
I
I say.
don't.
you
I
keep
don't
like-
know. No, I don't understand why you don't have a want for the Switch to be upgraded.
Mate, of course I do. Of course I do.
Well, you're not acting like you do.
Of course I do, but you're ultimately, I can't think there's a point at which you're asking too much.
What do you mean asking too much?
You're asking too much because
Why?
It's literally one game. Yes, there's been other games that have been delayed, but I'm talking about it's taking Hogwarts Legacy as an example, whereby the new next gen, whatever you want, fucking whoever calls them whatever, having it in February, and then previous is having it in April, and the Switch is July. Ash is probably bang on. It could very well be something to do with the fact of docking versus undocking. But again, so if they are struggling to accommodate for the ability to take a home console and make it a handheld, fine. Because it's something that, like I say, so Elden Ring.
Yes.
Elden Ring, and obviously, yes, that wasn't on the Switch,
The big boy.
understandably. But if I could tell you, wait 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, whatever it is, and you could have had that experience. So you wouldn't have had to sit there and wait all day thinking, God, I can't wait to get home and play it. I really want to get home and play it. I wish I could play it right now, because you would have it in your hands and you could be playing it.
Yeah,
you know
we
what
can
I
do
mean?
that now.
What do you mean?
Well, Steam Deck.
Yeah, you don't own a Steam Deck. So you can't do that now because you don't own a Steam Deck. Do you?
No, I don't own a
right.
Steam Deck.
Yeah, no, thank you. But you see what I mean? Or even WoW. Or something, you know what I mean? You cannot expect, or rather shouldn't be trying to force it to fit or like super keep up straight away, like be on par with a PS5. And ultimately, 4 months really isn't that deep. It isn't that deep. I will play it on the PlayStation 5 because I can. If I couldn't, I wouldn't, and I'd just wait.
Maybe I won't buy it anymore.
Right, but you see what I mean? It's really the fact that, you know what I mean? It's like the fact that it's actually going to be able to play it is incredible in itself, because
yeah, it's very cool.
It is not anywhere near the same capabilities, but it's not. For a console that is 5 years old, 4 months behind one that's only a year isn't bad.
Well, it's not going to look exactly the same.
Can you come back now, Ash? Please.
Look,
I didn't go to the 1975 gig tonight for you. I could have had two
what
tickets
do you mean
this morning.
for me? How much?
I could have had two
How
tickets
much?
this morning, 40 quid each.
And who was you going to go with?
Well, I was hoping you'd come with me. But I didn't, because I knew. I was like, no.
What,
the
today?
pod is important.
Today?
Yeah.
What time was the gig?
Well, they'll be on at 9.
Absolutely not. Where? Where?
The O2. Greenwich.
Absolutely not.
Have you no soul? But anyway, I didn't do it. I didn't do it because out of respect and love for you and
you
for the
like
podcast.
doing the podcast as well.
Yeah, I know. If you hadn't cut me just off then, I would have said. I literally just said for the podcast as well.
I'll put your eyes back in your head.
Yeah, no. I want it said. I usually enjoy doing the podcast.
No, you enjoy this right now. This is a wholesome, healthy debate.
It just feels to me like you're just picking on Nintendo.
I'm not picking on Nintendo.
It does feel to me this way.
I'm not picking on Nintendo. But Nintendo's the one that's behind everyone else.
But they're also in front, aren't they?
Of course they are.
Aren't they?
I'm
Yes.
just very aware of the fact that in order to get to 100,
I'll give
you need
them one game. One game that they're slightly delayed on.
Exactly.
Sweet.
It's one game now. I'm just saying. Be somewhat prepared.
I can't believe
that it may happen again.
I can't believe, and we have it literally recorded, you essentially just accused them of not working on something else. You honestly think they're not working on something else?
No, I asked you the question. Do you think that they are working on something else?
When was the PS4 released?
I can't remember.
What was the gap of time between the PS4 and the PS5? And don't you be saying about the Pro.
They filled it with a Pro.
No, because at the end of the day, there's been two further iterations of the Switch.
Way more beefy than the PS4.
Right. Not the point. Still said PS4, didn't it?
Yeah, but it was a
no,
Pro.
I want...
it was a beefed up version. You
okay,
can have the Nintendo Switch
but what I'm saying
Pro.
is... When was the PS4 released? Pardon me.
Years ago.
Oh, my phone's on silent. Hang on.
Oh.
I'll ask him again. When was the PS4 released?
PlayStation 4 was
Fucking hell.
launched the 15th of November, 2013.
Okay.
Jesus Christ is loud.
When was the PS5 released?
I found this on the web.
Oh, he doesn't. Why don't you just answer the question like you answered the question before?
Ask it about the Pro.
Hang on.
When did that come out?
It came out in November 12th, 2020. So 7 years. PS4 Pro. Let's have a look.
Fucking Gab keeps ringing me.
Oh.
Fancy that, Manister. Gab's ringing
PS4
me now.
Pro release date.
Silence.
November 10th, 2016.
There you go. 3
Right.
years. They brought out a beefed up version. Nice. Isn't that
Sorry,
good?
but it just wasn't.
Isn't that great? That's good.
It's not the next thing, though, is it? 7 years, so Nintendo have got another 3.
No, I'm not saying that Nintendo have to do the next thing. I'm saying it would just be...
No, but you
Look,
essentially just said that they weren't doing anything.
Put this to bed.
I'll put you to bed.
Thank you. I like Nintendo, blah-de, blah-de, blah-de,
No, you don't. Just admit that you don't.
I do like Nintendo.
You don't.
I do. It was just never my choice when I was a kid, so therefore, as an adult...
You
I
slag
haven't-
the living daylights out of them.
No.
You come on here pretend to be all nice, but
No,
I
no,
know
no.
you don't like them.
No, I slag FIFA and I slag Xbox. But even then, Xbox was warm to me. It was just because I never really fucked around with Nintendo as a kid. So it was always a PlayStation.
You had a DS.
I had a DS, but that's as far as it went. And I had a Wii. But
Oh,
that
there
was
you
as
go
far.
then.
That was as far as it went, though. So it would have been different story if I was thrown into Nintendo, but I just wasn't. So I just think it would be nice if they brought out a better Switch.
Yes, it would be
That's
nice.
all I'm saying. It would be nice for
nice.
the player base to have a more powerful Switch with a longer battery life.
Yes. I'm just looking at. Has there been any leaks?
Well, I think when we
Developer kits
we
for
went
an
away-
upgraded Switch console were given out at some point.
they said 2025
2024 says here.
2024.
But yeah, no, go on.
because there was the rumours of the Switch Pro, and then it was put to bed by Nintendo, and they said they would not be doing anything until it was either 24 or 25.
Yeah. So it says here, different ports. It currently features a custom NVIDIA Tegra processor, a 720p LCD display, and 32 gig of storage. The most recent refresh happening in August 19 to bump up the battery life, taking it from 6.5 to 9 hours of game time. We tested the upgrade using Super Smash Bros. And found the amount of game time we were able to fit in before it needed a recharge had doubled. The Switch Pro tipped to offer a 4K output in some form of docked mode. Likely when docked, the Switch Pro, this is obviously guessing, this is a report from Bloomberg. The Switch Pro will have some form of co-processor to upmix a 1080p video feed into a 4K output. Furthermore, a newer probe into Switch firmware revealed the line 4K DP under preferred under USB 30 that could indicate the potential for a 4K output over a DisplayPort over USB 3.0.
It's very cool.
11 developers are in possession of 4K toolkits supplied by Nintendo, strongly implying that Nintendo is at least thinking about releasing a Switch that can output in 4K. Although Nintendo did quickly release a statement denying the accuracy of the report, because why wouldn't you? You know, you're protecting your
Yeah.
your doobies. The OLED display. How old is this article? Is it talking about OLED? It's like, well, yeah, it does have a fucking OLED. I might be reading a really out of date. But you know, I like, perhaps they're just controlling the.
Quite possibly, and I hope that is the case.
I've bored you now.
No. I'm just quenching the thirst of the argument. The debate.
Yes. Will we ever get a Switch Pro? While it never materialised, rumours of a 4K Switch won't go away. After the Switch OLED last year, everyone's been waiting bated breath for the next upgrade. Despite the sizable upgrades...
It's been 5 years.
Well,
Well, there will be. There has to be. Otherwise, it dies. Simple as that.
Bang on. You're right. And I appreciate that. I do appreciate what you're saying.
And that is how adults argue.
Mhm.
Always resolve.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So much comfort. So much more comfy doing it in here. Oh.
Well, you're welcome to do it in here.
No, I don't think Ash would go for it. The
Why?
dog would
Is he
rip his
frightened?
fucking legs off as well. That was entertaining.
God, we literally did really argue then. for
Yeah,
a
that's
long
about
time.
summed it up pretty much.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed.
Why?
Don't know. I'm just embarrassed.
There's only like 10 people that are going to hear it.
That's true. Hi, everybody. Hi, everyone.
That's great, isn't it? We've got our exclusive episode that we've got to do as well.
Yeah, we have to promise not to argue through
So
that
that'll
as
be
well.
a cool one. I might release this now.
Why?
Well, Just a little treat.
keep
You don't
it-
reckon?
Nah.
If you're hearing this Friday morning, I suppose I could schedule it to release for Friday morning. Ooh, cat's on your drawer. But we'll fucking leave it there then, eh?
Yeah.
Steph's done a stellar job at filling in again. It's fantastic,
Thanks.
as always. If you want to catch us on the exclusive episodes, which we do at least 30 minutes after every single episode, go on to patreon.com/whatsthebuttons. And for a $5, you can get an extra minimum 2 hours worth of content a month. Mental behaviour, where we talk about all sorts of random bullshit. Mark tells us how crap the exclusive episodes are. We come back the following week with adjustments and changes. And that's how it's
Did
how
you
it's
like
done.
the ones we did?
Yeah. It was just the one where it was me and Ash. She said it was absolute shit.
Well, I think this wasn't our best.
No, this was the best
This-
one we're ever going to have.
You reckon?
No.
No, God no. No, I just want to apologise. I almost want to put an apology
Why?
at the start.
Why?
I don't know. I
We'll
feel
put a clickbait title on. We have a massive argument as she storms out.
yeah.
No, it's good. People love it when other people argue. They sit on the sidelines and they get to listen. It's fantastic.
Well, as
That's
long
why
as
they love
everyone
it.
agrees
That's
with
why
me,
fucking
okay.
everyone wants me to carry on. That's why they want us to carry on doing the quizzes.
Oh, maybe we'll do a quiz for the exclusive
Because
episode.
I get so
Let's
fucking
do a
irate
quiz.
about it.
Let's do a quiz for the exclusive episode.
If you want
yeah.
to hear the quiz, we've now paywalled it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There were the people listening that wanted to have a quiz. You go give me some money and you can hear this quiz.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to go. I really, really need to have a wee. That was that cup of tea. Thanks for listening, everyone.
If you're still here.
If you're still here, if you didn't switch off because we were fucking arguing, we'll catch you next time. Catch you next week. Enjoy your weekends and all that bullshit. See you later. Uru.